Hi everyone, it's Dawud Islam here with my annual Christmas message for the Elite Tigers group. I think it's fair to say that 2022 has been a difficult year for pretty much all of us. There's been conflict worldwide and the geopolitical system has probably been more unstable and fraught with potential dangers than it has been at any time probably in the last 20 or so years at least. Politically, the year started, of course, with the Capitol riots in the US, and here in the UK, we've had an unprecedented 3 prime ministers in a single year, including the shortest ever reign of a British prime minister. And of course, sadly, we lost our long-serving monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, this year, a monarch that had been in place pretty much for the entire lifetime of anyone under the age of 70 in the United Kingdom. This takes some getting used to. Because of the unstable situation globally, obviously we've seen an economic crisis running alongside the political crisis. We've seen inflation, we've seen interest rates rising in a lot of countries. We've seen the cost of energy, particularly gas and electric prices, shooting up. We've seen petrol or gas prices, as you call them, in the in the US shooting up as well. And all of this has squeezed people's incomes. And of course, pay settlements typically have not matched the high inflation figures, which in turn has caused a lot of industrial unrest in terms of strike action, industrial action, all of which has a daily impact on people's lives. So it's against that backdrop, obviously, that we have attempted to continue to run our internet marketing businesses as usual. And obviously there have been challenges because of this. We're not immune. We're probably more ring-fenced than a lot of businesses are, because obviously we're not importers and exporters of goods as such. All of our products are digital, so we are protected from some of the external strife that's out there, but not all of it. As a result of that, it has been a challenging year for the group, and my observations are that that pretty much has been the case across the board. In terms of our core revenue figures, at the time of making this video, we're at the moment roughly on something like $228,000 for product sales in 2022, which is an increase of about 7,000 on last year. And we are down pretty much a similar amount on affiliate product sales. That's our sales as a group of other people's products. So pretty much we've washed our face, as you'd say in the UK. That means we've broken even. Now, under normal circumstances, and indeed in my teachings to the group, I would usually say that if you're standing still, you're going backwards. So, you know, if you're breaking even year on year, then that's not normally a good thing. It does normally mean that your business is potentially contracting because you're not continuing to make progress. However, against the backdrop of the difficult operating conditions in 2022, and also the fact that I have seen with my own eyes that a lot of marketing businesses have indeed gone backwards this year, then I think that we can look as a group and say that these figures are actually pretty decent, that we've done well, that we've swum against the tide to a degree. And I think that's partly because of the innovation that's been shown by the group. We've attempted to think outside the box. We've attempted to come up with more innovative and unusual ways to create products and services that will appeal to people in these difficult marketing conditions. But 2023 is also going to be equally as challenging. But as always in this business, with every challenge comes an opportunity. I'm always a glass half full person, and I think that you all should be as well, because the moment you start thinking negatively and thinking that, taking a fatalistic approach and thinking that there's nothing you can do about it because global conditions are such that you can't possibly succeed in these conditions, well, wipe that thought out of your mind is my Christmas message to you. 2023 can be a great and brilliant year for all of us if we have the right mindset. And that's something that I often go big on in these Christmas messages, but this year I think that it's more important than ever, because I think, as I just hinted at, there is a fatalistic element to this, that people are put off by all of the noise that's out there, and they think that that is something that's going to prevent them from being able to run a successful internet marketing business. Now, that isn't the case. There have been times this year when I've been frustrated, really frustrated with the way things have been going. Certain launches haven't gone as well as I expected them to. There have been other external issues and challenges for the business. Sometimes we haven't got it right on customer service, and I hold my hands up for that as well. And all these little things have a cumulative effect that could easily get you down. But I think it's worth stepping away from that occasionally. And when I was evaluating the year, I was doing this. Some of you will know that we've got a house move planned early in the new year, that we've been we're moving back to England from Scotland. And I was thinking about this the other day. And I just then sat down and really remembered what my financial position was like. I looked back to 2015, when I was blacklisted by all of the major credit organisations in the UK. And at that point, in 2015, if you'd even told me that I'd be able to get a loan, to buy a new computer, I would have laughed at you, let alone being able to get a mortgage to purchase a house. If you'd have told me in 2015 that I was going to be able to own my own house again, I would never have believed that, that I would ever be able to get a mortgage. But within, a couple of years of that, because of internet marketing, we were indeed able to get back on the property ladder. And when we complete the transaction to move back to England, we will own the new house that we are going to be moving into outright, completely mortgage free. So again, if you'd have told me that back in 2015, that in 7 years' time, I would be in a position where I was living in my own house that I owned completely myself, and that, in the outside of that property, I would also have an almost new Mercedes and also a Land Rover. I would absolutely have, thought that you were probably needing to go into a mental asylum or something like that. I just wouldn't have possibly believed it, even though I've always been a positive person, and things that, did happen to me earlier in my life, never put me down to a particular degree. But I was in, as a lot of you know my backstory, a pretty desperate situation. And so when I sit down and look at that, that makes you think, because in the context of that, having a break-even year isn't really a disaster, is it, coming from where we were? And that, I think, just highlights again the power of our industry, of internet marketing, of affiliate marketing. I don't know of any industry out there that is able to turn around people's positions, situations, fortunes in such a rapid way over such a short period of time. If you look at, lots of other British marketers, just, a couple that come to mind are John O'Armstrong and Trevor Carr. Both of those have similar backstories to me, where they were in really desperate, dire situations, and in really short period of times, just a few short years, they were able to turn those positions around completely, transform their lives, and live comfortably. And I don't think that there is any industry out there that can do that. Yes, sure, there are people, young people, innovative people that come up with great new tech startup ideas, but even those are fraught with danger. You know, this year we've seen, you know, a real hero to zero story with the collapse of the FTX crypto exchange, you know, where a billionaire was created almost overnight and then crashed back to earth in a pretty ignominious way. So there are always going to be people that will climb to the top quickly, but that isn't always built on a solid foundation. I think it's important to remember that when you're building an internet marketing business in the way that we teach at the Elite Tigers Group, then that is always going to be built on solid ground, and it should always be stable and be able to grow each year. Probably if I look at 2022, one of the big disappointments from this year is that we haven't really bought through any new Elite Tigers Group stars. You know, every year, probably since we started this properly in 2018, there's been 2 or 3 names each year that have come out from the group and have established themselves as, you know, vendors in their own right, or super affiliates that have started regularly appearing at the top of leaderboards. You know, we've had that production line for a good few years now, and probably this year that has been one of the impacts of the global situation, that we haven't been able to have those breakthrough people. Yes, there are other members of the Elite Tigers Group who have progressed with their businesses this year, but they are people that had already started to establish themselves prior to the start of 2022. So it is a little bit of a disappointment that we haven't seen any new names coming through. And again, I think that that goes back to this negativity of people's own mindset holding them back, because even in these difficult operating conditions, if you've followed all of my courses and my trainings, you will have sufficient information available to you that you are able to make the breakthrough, that you're able to do exactly the same thing that I've done and make that breakthrough. But I suppose I'd end by saying, you know, again, one of the things that I say on a regular basis, which is that if you look at all of the people that have made it to the top in this industry, pretty much without exception, and I genuinely cannot think of any exception that goes against this rule, all of them have taken on at some point a high-ticket mentorship program. None of them have succeeded just by buying $5 or $10 courses. I'm not aware of anyone. Yes, they've started their journey on those sorts of courses and they've made it to a certain rung on the ladder because of the knowledge, but those that have made the breakthrough and taken it to the next level, all of them, without any exception that I'm aware of, as I say, have all taken out a high-ticket mentorship with someone. I myself, of course, you know, I've got mentorship high-ticket programs from John Armstrong himself, from John Thornhill, and from James Fawcett, amongst others. I also have taken a lot of courses, including his regular recurring monthly course from Kevin Fahey. So, and again, in fact, most of these top people have actually taken out multiple courses as well, but all of them have got at least one. So this isn't an attempt for me selling my own mentorship. There are no links under this video or anything like that. All I'm just saying is that if you really want to commit to, you know, getting on those leaderboards or becoming an online star in your own right in 2023, then I don't see how you can achieve that without investing in someone's high ticket program. That would be my standout take, really, that still remains an essential part of the package. You're never, however skilled you are, you know, even I would say that John Armstrong is one of the quickest on the uptake affiliates that I've ever come across. He absorbs information in a way that I could never absorb as quickly as he does. He can see things. He's got vision in a way that very few of us have, which is why he's the standout superstar in this industry. But even Jono had to buy a high ticket program to fill in some of the gaps that he had. You know, he wouldn't be in the position that he is if he hadn't invested in high ticket programs, even someone with his skill set. So the idea, I think, that some people have, that they can just sort of bobble along paying peanuts for this course here and there, and that suddenly everything's going to come together and they're suddenly going to be catapulted to a high earnings level. That's an unrealistic expectation. So however positive your mindset is, you still need the tools to actually help you to achieve. So commit to yourself for 2023. I'd like to thank all of you for all of your support this year, whether you're just a member of one of our websites, whether you have purchased a product from us, whether you are a member of my own Elite Academy, whatever your situation is. You know, we value all the members of the Elite Tigers group. We are a unique group online. We consider ourselves to be a collective where all members of the group effectively are held in equal standing, regardless of you know, how active or involved they've been. We consider all of you to be equals, looking to achieve financial security for yourselves and for your family, and of course your loved ones. So this Christmas my message is one of thanksgiving to all of you. It's for you to enjoy this period, to enjoy the time that you have with your family and friends, and for those of you who happen to be working over this period, again, I hope that you can take some time out from that work and at least enjoy some of the celebrations. And I look forward to working with all members of the group and any new people out there who have not yet joined us, who may have come across this video. Have a very, very Merry Christmas and a peaceful and financially hugely successful 2023. Thanks very much.